We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quat. We're back at it again with another amazing broadcast. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. We have Jennifer Alvarado. How's it going?
Good. It's great.
It's been a while. Actually, it's been probably a lot longer than I think it has been. So,
yeah, I don't even know. It's probably been at least a year and a half, 2 years, somewhere in there. Maybe Christmas. So I think we did something in December 2023. So it's been at least then. Yeah.
It's been at least a year and a half. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I was thinking it was at least 2.5 years, but yeah, no, you're about right. I forget every once in a while I get on this Christmas kick where it's like, oh, we're going to do stuff for Christmas. And
yeah.
I go full bore into it. So it also depends on like how much of a back catalog I have. And it's like, yeah, so.
Exactly. Yeah.
Excited to have you back. How's everything been going?
Thank you. It's been busy. Just been on the road a lot, doing gigs here, there, and everywhere, and just trying to get music out finally. I spent most of last year sort of in the studio working on stuff, but then ran into a situation of just production times and stuff like that, and didn't get stuff out when I thought it was going to come out. And so spent the first part of this year really finalizing that and getting it pushed out. And still trying to keep up with the gig schedule and live the life of a musician.
Fair. Now, are you in North Carolina still full time, or are you in Tennessee? Where are you kind of hanging out at these days?
So I'm based in North Carolina. I'm here probably, I want to say 60% of the time, 50% of the time. And then probably a good 30% or so I'm in Nashville. And then the rest of the time I'm just sort of everywhere.
Wherever. Okay.
Yes.
Because I vaguely remember a conversation that we had about the jump back and forth and all that stuff. So just
still doing it.
Nice. Hey, you know what though? You're still pursuing the dream. So that's all that matters, right?
Most definitely. Yes, so, most definitely.
How does it feel to have a new project out in the world? A new EP, correct?
Yeah. So my EP lately, it came out last Friday. And this one was different in the sense that a whole different producer, different team, all that kind of stuff. Had the opportunity to go to Boston and work with Plaid Dog and as part of their artist search. And we did this crowdfunding campaign. So this was the first time I've ever done a crowdfunding campaign, and it did very well. It was successful, which is great. But the whole project is about mental health and the importance of your testimony. So even though it wasn't really my schedule of when it was to come out, it actually came out at the perfect time because, this is Mental Health Month being May. And so, there's a reason for everything. So that just came out, and there's some songs on there that are very much about my struggles with anxiety and depression over the years. But also there's one on there that talks about, it's called Dear Anna. And it was actually just me talking back to my disordered eating and trying to figure out that voice that's in your head of what you see in the mirror versus what's there and everything in between. So, and then songs like Jesus in a Bar and Rebel with a Cause are kind of those stems of hope of pulling the faith element back in, because faith is a huge part of me and my life and my music. So I always want to have that element somewhere in there.
Fair. And how long has this EP kind of been in the works? Because it feels like it's kind of been in the works for a little bit.
So this one in particular, we started the campaign. The campaign was last May, June timeframe, summer timeframe, and then went back in the studio and finished recording in October, and then did the final stuff for it in January. So it's been about a year process.
Yeah. Now, when you started the campaign, did you already have like the songs selected and written and kind of recorded, or?
No. So when I started the campaign, we kind of talked through the project. I had one song written, which was Jesus in a Bar. Mm-hmm. and knew that that was kind of the route I wanted to go, but did not have an idea really of the other songs. I had some of these songs where I had started them, but I hadn't finished them,
Mhm.
and it was kind of that motivational push of like, no, let's do this, let's get this done, because I think sometimes it's hard to, I mean, obviously it's hard to be vulnerable, but especially when it's songs that you're still sort of in the process of healing from and stuff. Because a lot of my other songs, like it's past situations, it's past thoughts, whatever. When you're still in the midst of that and dealing with a lot of it, like it becomes difficult to kind of, I don't know, to really release that to the world. And give me 1 second. I am so sorry.
No, you're good.
My cat's losing her mind.
Oh, it's all good.
Room, please stop. Please stop.
You're going to be okay.
Okay. Yeah. I've got Toby underneath the bench. I've got her beating to go into the closet. I'm like, please,
Just
everybody.
go into the closet. Stay there. Just
Yeah, go in there, please.
that's all right.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
sorry.
no, you're good. Oh, so it's you kind of the fundraiser campaign was like the literal jumping off point for the album.
Yeah. So what the process was kind of setting up everything, getting the story behind it. I went up to Boston back in, I think, the end of May of
Mhm.
last year. And we got the first single, which was Jesus in a Bar, finalized, recorded, all that kind of stuff, so that we had it to sort of be like the tipping off point of this is this is sort of what the project's about.
Mhm.
And so that was done, but the rest of the project was not at that point. And so in the meantime, like we did go back and forth and kind of have, rough versions so that it's easier when you get to the studio and have a very short amount of time to get things done, to get in there and be like, okay, let's knock this out. But overall, like it was a very fast process recording wise, because when you allocate 3 or 4 days and you have to get it done, then you get it done.
Right.
And it's not one of those like you just sit there and think about it, which I'm prone to, I guess, go home and rethink things, especially my vocals. Like I'm very, very hard on my vocals. And so, like, if it were up to me, I probably still would be cutting the same vocal over and over and over again. And so, in this time, like in this process, it's like, no, you get like two good shots and move on.
Right. It's one of those things where it's like you've got to like I've been having this conversation more and more frequently with artists about that battle of am I just nitpicking versus are these actual
Issue.
issues that people are going to notice? And it's like sometimes you just got to trust your gut and be like,
Yeah.
I'm just nitpicking this thing, so we got to move on. So
Well, and I think especially like I'm pretty sure a lot of artists are perfectionists,
mhm.
and I'm a perfectionist, and so I will sit there and everything can look great or sound great, and I'm like, nope, I heard me breathe at the wrong place or
Mhm.
whatever, so we got to fix that.
Fair.
So yeah.
Now, do you have anybody in your like inner circle or in your corner that will give you like that gut check reality moment of no, you're crazy, stop it?
Yes, my husband.
Fair.
My husband would probably be the number one on that of like, you need to stop.
Fair.
It's
Fair.
ridiculous.
I mean, those are good people to have. Those are the
Oh
people,
yeah.
because it's a fine line. You can have people in your corner that are just yes men, like yes, you're right. We need to go back and do this 800 more times and just tell you whatever you want to hear. Or
Right.
you could have the complete polar opposite where it's like they're just overly critical and nothing you do
Exactly.
is
Exactly.
good.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I'm extremely hard on myself anyway. So honestly, I probably have a surplus of those that are like, it's truly okay. Like you just need to calm down. But I
yeah.
also have a lot of truth. Like I have a lot of truth tellers. I mean, and honestly, the biggest one is my husband. Like
Mhm.
he'll tell me, like if he hates a song or he thinks something doesn't make sense, like he's the first one to say no. And my normal producer Ricky jokes because he's like, did it pass the Josh test? And because I mean, there's some times where it feels like he's an executive producer on something because he's like, no, I don't like how you did that. I don't like that. Like, and honestly, like I appreciate that. Like you
Mhm.
need that. Like I do not want people that are just agreeing with me because I think that especially the further along you get, like that can be very detrimental if you
Mhm.
have people that are just agreeing to agree. So, yeah.
Right. And it's just it's a fine balance at the end of the day because it's just kind of like, all right, the people that are agreeing to agree, they're going to point out everything they love about it, and there's some truth there. Like there's definitely some truth. It's like, okay, oh, they're connecting with this part, or they're connecting here. But then you give it to somebody else that's going to be a little bit more blunt about their opinions, and I mean, it's like I said, it's a fine balance. So.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Um, so kind of approaching I guess what made you want to choose like a different producer or try out a different producer for this project? Was it just the vibe that you were going for? You were wanting something
Um,
different, or
I think for me, I've spent 10 years with pretty much the same producer and I love it and we have grown so much together and kind of figured things out as we go. But I think that it's also just good to see how somebody else works. If nothing else, to appreciate what you do have. And, where Ricky's very, I don't want to say like easy to get along with because so is Mike, but Ricky is very easy go, just
go with the flow?
yeah, go with the flow, that kind of thing. Where Mike is very much, he's very type A like I am. And so it was interesting to see how he sort of goes about the whole mixing process because he would go through and basically a song was mixed by the end of the day
Mm-hmm.
because he would tweak it as we go versus recording different things and then putting it together and tweaking it at the end like he was already mixing. And so it was cool to see that process, and I think it gives you more of an appreciation for even the musicians that you have because these, like I said, a whole different set of musicians than I usually have on my records, and it changes the whole vibe of
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing. And I would say that this one is probably a little bit more alternative indie in its feeling,
Mm-hmm.
versus like, that southern flair, if you will, of being in North Carolina. Like I can't get rid of my accent. Like that's always going to be my tie to country. Like this is not going anywhere. It is pretty evident that, hey, I am country. But I think that even the instrumentation and stuff was just a, a different feel. And I like that. I think that it's good to get out of maybe the ruts that you're in sometimes, but also just to try new things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So now you're about a week after the release.
Mhm.
What's running through your mind right now? Obviously, this has been like a year plus in the works.
Yeah.
How are we feeling right now? Are you excited, nervous? Like, what's the feedback you've been getting?
I've been getting good feedback and people have been very nice. And I think what was different too was, I already had 100+ people that had given to the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got the pre-release of this. And so I was already getting kind of their thoughts on the project and stuff like that, which was cool because it's a little bit different. And I think that they're a little bit more invested than somebody who's just finding you randomly. And so that's been a cool thing to have this time versus other times where, you know, I hope people listen. So it's a little bit different. I will say that this project in particular, I think that there's elements of it that I was way more nervous about because of the vulnerability of it and because of the subject matter of it. And so I think at the 11th hour, I was sort of like, what am I doing? Like, well, I didn't have to do this. Why did we get this direction? But at the same time, I know the impact that it could potentially have as far as helping somebody else. And even if one person hears something in there that speaks to them and can help, then that's all that matters. Um, so
I feel it. I feel it. Did you get an opportunity to do a release show for this, or is that still something that's kind of
I didn't
no?
actually. So I think because the process had kind of revved up and then slowed down and then revved up and slowed, like there was so much buildup with the campaign and everything, and there was celebration over the campaign going well and all of that, that honestly, I was just at this place of like, let's just get it out. Like,
Right.
let's just release this thing. So I didn't even really promote the release of it. I know that sounds weird. I did like maybe a month ago, I put out like, hey, this is coming. And then I was just sort of like, surprise, it's out. Like, which is totally different than most anybody would do. And I get that. So I'm doing a lot of post
Mhm.
um, work on this one. So
Which, like, I mean, in theory, it that there is some validity to that thought process and that marketing tactic, because if you're going to promote something, you want to have music to promote with it. Like, you don't want to just say, "Hey, there's something coming in a month."
yeah.
Can't show you what it is unless you release a single with it. But I mean, what was it? A 5 song EP, 6 song EP,
Pop song.
five
Yeah.
song EP. You probably don't want to put out a single. Like, I mean, if you do, you could have put out a single,
Right.
but I mean, it's six of one, half dozen of the other. Like, I don't think it would have made that big of a difference at the end of the day. So, it it gives you something to work with when you're out there promoting. It gives you something to show
Exactly.
and share. So, yeah.
Exactly. Well, and I think that I think too, like I wanted to release it early in the month
Hmm.
of May so that I have this month to really tell the stories behind it, to kind
Hmm.
of to help use it as a tool. And to help honor what this month is about,
Hmm.
because that's the whole point of the whole project. So yeah, I want to play into that.
Yes. Have you thought about doing like shorts or reels talking about like the importance of each song and like what the deeper meaning of it is?
I have. And also, honestly, I'm thinking about starting my blog back in the
Mhm.
process as well,
Yeah.
because it's been a while since I've updated my In the Waiting blog. I think it's been like, honestly, it's probably been the same amount of time since we last talked, that I've even written something for the blog. And so I really want to couple it together because I feel like, when I first started that blog, it was all about being there for somebody who may be struggling in a season of life. Like you don't
Mhm.
know what's going on with this season and it's weird and you feel alone in a lot of ways. And I just feel like we have such an important, as humans, we have such an important job of just making sure that we're here for each other and we can speak life into somebody.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I'm thinking that this would be a great opportunity to bring this alongside the blog and start again with that community and kind of really jump off into that.
Right. That's really cool. Yeah, I forgot the yeah, it was probably about it was definitely you brought up the blog in the last interview because I remember you speaking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that's why I never really got that heavy into blog writing, is because I knew A, I'm not that passionate about writing stuff like that, and
Yeah.
B, if I'm not going to do it consistently, then what's the point?
Exactly. Yeah, I had one that was like 800. I think the title of it was like 852. And literally, it was like the time since the time before that I had written in it. Like it was 852 days or something. And yeah, we're back to that. I'm close to 852 days. So maybe it's the 852 blog. I don't know.
Right? That actually is kind of an interesting concept, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I really don't know who would wait 852
I
days.
don't I don't know either because I
Or
wouldn't.
I was going to say maybe 852 minutes. That feels
Maybe
like, or hour, like minutes or hours or something. That there might be some
that would
valid.
maybe work. Yeah.
852 minutes might be a little short because I feel like that's only like 12 hours or something, 12 or
Oh
13.
no, no.
So,
We, oh no, I would have to. I know somebody would have to come write stuff for me. I'd be done.
right. I feel that. I got you. So, kind of looking forward now that the album's out, what's kind of the plan looking forward? Are you heading back to Nashville soon, or are you, what's kind of the
Yeah,
thought process there?
yeah. So I'm doing a lot of co-writes right now. This is sort of, I feel like this is my year of co-writes. And part of that is just, I want to write a lot more. My end goal is to get a pub deal with writing. I don't really, I don't want to say I don't care about a record deal because I think everybody, if they are given a really good opportunity, they should take it. Um, but at the end of the day, I'm okay putting out my own stuff. I feel like I've kind of gotten the process down. Maybe I don't know that I'm good at it, but got the process down. And so that goal is the pub deal, and so doing a lot of co-writes, trying to just meet new people, get into the room with some better writers, strong writers, writers with a lot more experience than I have. Because that's a challenge and they can challenge you to be better. And I think that that's the whole point of this is to get better at what you're doing.
Nice.
Um, and so, yeah, like I said, this is my year of co-writes and then continuing to gig. I've got, still the rest of the year of gigs. I'm already booking 2026 gigs right now. So, which that's a great problem to have.
Right.
And also, looking at the festival scene, festivals have not been something that I've really delved into too much. Just because with being back and forth, I didn't really have like a consistent group as far as a band
Mhm.
that I knew would be able to travel with me. But doing a lot more trio and full band shows this year as well. So I'm hoping that that kind of jumps into the festival seasons.
Nice.
Um, and then also, I'm in the studio right now working on a new EP. So I'm hoping to have it done by the end of the year and out early 2026.
Nice. That's cool. How's that? Obviously, trying to balance essentially two projects at the same time. I'm sure that's probably not easy, right?
Yeah, well, and honestly, that's part of it too. I had a single come out April 11th.
Hmm.
That's actually going to be on this project that I'm working on now, and so that sort of was another reason that I was like, okay, here's a CP surprise. So yeah, it's a lot coming at once, but I also feel like I had a year to sort of prepare and I needed to get stuff out and the past few years have very much been trying to get yourself out there and play gigs and learn the ropes and all that kind of stuff because for years I was in church ministry but I wasn't touring and playing different you know venues and all of that, and so I feel like I needed that experience and I still feel like I need experience with some things, and so that's sort of what this is. It's gaining experience and knowledge and hopefully becoming better.
Cool. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's it seems like when it's happening, it's all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
And then when it's not happening, it's like, I wish it'd be happening right now.
What am I supposed
like,
to be doing?
right? It's like when you're busy, like beyond a shadow of a doubt. But then you get that downtime and it feels like, um,
Yeah, and I'm that person that's like, okay, why am I not getting emails? Why am I not getting calls? Like what is happening? Like and then I go into like panic mode and then like it lasts like a day and a half and then it's
right,
back to
right.
normal. But yeah, like you do. I think I don't know if that's just a musician thing, like with
It's a
this.
creative thing. It's a
Yeah,
creative
I think
thing.
it's a creative thing, and you do like. I function better with chaos. I
Mhm.
know that sounds probably not good, but I do. I function in the chaos, and I function with like having 15 different things happening at once
Mhm.
and trying to juggle it all. And so when it gets slow, I'm like, I'm gonna go crazy. Like, what
Right,
is this?
right.
So
Well, because I went through the something similar Oh, when was it? The end of March? Yeah, want to say it was like the end of March, beginning of
Mhm.
April. I was like, I was beating myself into the ground with the podcast. I was doing releasing episodes every single day. Like I did it
Gosh.
for 100 and almost 160 days straight. And I before that I'd taken like 10 days off and I'd done it for 120 days. So like we're talking about 280 podcasts in a year or in a like less than 300 days. And I was just like, I need a break. I'm going to lose it. Like my friends stopped calling me, like because every time somebody be like, "Hey, we got this going on, you want to come?" Got a podcast. Sorry, I can't. Or I could be there later, and then I wouldn't go because
Yeah.
yeah, I'm tired or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? There's got to be a better way to do this. There's got to be a more consistent way to do this. And so I was like, okay, I had unintentionally missed a day, and I was like freaking out about that because it's like, oh crap, everybody's gonna leave. Like, just like
Oh
these,
yeah. Yeah. No, I get that feeling.
yeah. It's like, oh, I missed a day. What do I do? What do I do? And then I was just like, you know what? I've already missed the day. That break I said I needed, I'm gonna take like 3 weeks off. And then I started having this panic attack because it was like, what do I do now? Like, why isn't anybody reaching out to me? Why didn't anyone want to do a podcast? And I was like, wait a minute. I've been asking for this for the last month and a half at least to kind of get that break. But now I'm freaking out because I've got nothing to do. So it's just like,
Same thing. I got you.
yeah,
I get
it's literally like maybe I need to chill out a little bit. And then I just kind of reworked my schedule because I was talking to a friend. We were going to try and start a different project, like a just completely different project, something for us to do to hang out on the weekends or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna rework my schedule a little bit so I can accommodate that and this, and at least I'm not doing the same thing every day. And then the project never ended up like building into anything because it was just like, oh, our schedules aren't going to really match up. It's going to be really hard for us to get together on a consistent basis. And I was just like, well, I'm doing podcasts 3 days a week. I kind of like this vibe right now because it's like I don't have to stress about it. I don't have to. I mean, I still have to stress about it, right? But it's not
You're
like,
gonna flow,
yeah.
and it's a balance, and I think that that's the huge thing, and that's honestly what I have had to figure out for myself is where is that balance,
Hmm.
because the fact is I would go play every single day.
Right.
um and I mean, last week's a perfect, well, actually Easter's a perfect example. I ended up with vertigo on the Friday before Easter.
Yeah.
And I had a service Friday evening, literally 2 hours before service. I like had laid down because I wasn't feeling quite right. Wake up, can't get up. Like just I'm so dizzy. And I was like, okay, this is not a good time. Like we can't do this right now. And so I went to the service, got through it, came home, like crashed, had two shows the next day, had to cancel both of them because I was so sick from just being dizzy and
Hmm.
everything. And I beat myself up over it all weekend long. And that's what I do. Like I go until like you just like burn out or get sick or whatever. And I've tried to be better about that.
Hmm.
I know that like, okay, I can do 5 days straight of
Hmm.
3 hour shows or 4 hour shows. However, maybe I need to just do four or
Hmm.
three or whatever. Maybe I need to take a day off here and just do something with my husband
Hmm.
or whatever. But it's one of those things that I've had to just learn because I'm a doer and I stress out and I'm a striver and I want to go and do this and that and the other. And I think I suffer from FOMO and whatever else and think that I'm going to miss something. And you
Hmm.
have to just realize that not every opportunity is yours
Hmm.
to take, and not every opportunity is worth taking either.
Right.
And I think that that's where I'm getting to is finally realizing like, hey, what's really worth my time, and more importantly, what's worth my time away from like home and my husband
Hmm.
and family events. I mean, like what you said, like
Yeah.
you get to a place where none of your friends call because they know you're busy, and
Yeah.
it's nothing personal, but
It's
why would they bother?
right.
And
It's like
yeah,
they've gotten the same answer for the last 5 weeks
yeah,
straight. It's like, okay, I mean, he'll call us when he's
exactly.
free, but
Yeah,
then it's just like trying to retrain that
yeah,
situation of like, hey, I know I'm a crazy person. I get it, but I still do want to hang out. So
yeah, yeah,
it's interesting because it's like going off of what you said. It's like I know I can do everything I want to do. Like I can hit the road for a week and a half straight, drive for 9 hours, then
yep,
work for 6, and then sleep for 4, and then back up and do it again. I know I can physically do that. It's just doing it for 10 days straight and then forgetting, oh crap, I've got to go to work and work 40 hours the next week, just
yeah,
adding and not having those 2 days off
yeah.
where it's like you can actually just kind of chill. It's like, oh, that's where it gets me. It's like the day job kind of kills it for me. So,
No, I get that. I get that completely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um, but it's a grind. We're all working towards a goal, a
we
common
are
goal, or a mutually beneficial goal. But it's a grind. So,
most definitely, most
but
definitely.
I appreciate your time joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
For for people to check out your music, socials, shows, all that, where's the best place to find you?
Yeah, definitely check out my website. It's Jennifer Alvarado. That is Alvarado. You can also look up avocado, and it probably will show up at this point. But jenniferalvarado.com. Or you can check out my socials and connect with me there. That's Jennifer Alvarado Music at all of the, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of that. And then as far as music, if you want to stream my music, I'm on all of the streaming platforms. It's just Jennifer Alvarado.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you. I
us.
appreciate yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch y'all later.